Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about sketching. And if you think about what is sketching, sketching is getting an idea down on paper quickly. We're going to work through a PowerPoint today, and we're going to see what all is involved with this. So the purpose of sketching, just what we said a second ago, is to get an idea down on paper quickly. So if somebody ever says to you, do I need to draw you a picture? It sounds like they're being kind of sarcastic, but if you think about it, in a lot of instances, if they would draw you a picture, you could understand it better. Now, who are you drawing for? Sometimes you draw for yourself, so you can figure something out. Sometimes you draw for somebody else. Sometimes you may draw something for somebody to create something for you to use. So there's multiple people as far as who you're actually sketching for. So our different types of sketching, we've got design sketching, freehand technical sketches, and technical illustrations. So a design sketch is a real rough sketch. You get the idea down on paper. It don't have to be real pretty. It's got a whole lot less detail and a lot less structure. This image that's on the screen right now, that's not a design sketch because that's got a lot of numbers and stuff like that on it. That's a pretty detailed sketch. A design sketch could be as rough as you just making bubbles, laying out a house or something like that, going, the living room is the biggest bubble and the bathroom is a smaller bubble. So, that could be a sketch, but then we can take that sketch and refine it, and we can go, okay, now I'm going to add straight lines when I draw my house, and I may even put numbers and stuff on it. So when I do that and put numbers on it, we get into what's called a freehand technical sketch. Now this could have dimensions on it to tell how big something is, like our rooms if we're laying out a house. This is a Leonardo da Vinci sketch here. It's pretty fancy right here. It's got a lot more detail to it. It talks about it can be a multi-view or a pictorial. A pictorial is 3D, okay? A multi-view is when we take an object and we look at it from the front and go, okay, what does this object look like from the front? Let's hold this up right here, okay? So we look at this, the shape of it is kind of a pistol shape. This actually holds a camera. A phone is what this does. So that's what the basic shape it is. That's what it looks like from the front. This is what it looks like from the right side. This is what it looks like from the top, okay, if we turn it like that, okay? So that's what a multi-view is looking at it from different directions. Now, technical illustration, this is the really, really, really fancy drawings. This is the one that you want to make real pretty. So like this cutaway of a van. Imagine if you were trying to show somebody how you're building a brand new model of a van, and you want to show them where the motor placement is and where the gas tank placement is. You can see it underneath the bed of the box of the van itself. You want to show them some seat detail. There's a lot of shading and shadowing going on. So this sketch is going to be the most realistic when we get into a technical illustration, okay? So what do we need to sketch with? Well, the most basic tools that we need to sketch with, and one that you need more than anything, is just a wooden pencil. Okay, you don't need a mechanical pencil, one of those that clicks on the top. You don't need one of those to sketch with because a wooden pencil has got a point that can be a little bit wider, a little bit fatter, because a thicker line looks better most of the time, okay? So you need a softer lead to sketch with. That's always important to remember, a soft lead to sketch with. So that way you can make a darker line when you need to. The other piece of equipment that we need, well, it's about as basic as this. We need a piece of paper. Okay, so a pencil and a piece of paper, that are the two primary tools that we need to sketch with. Because remember, we're getting an idea down on paper quickly. Well, what other tools could we possibly use to sketch with? Well, how about what's on the end of an eraser, or end of a pencil like an eraser? Or you can get a big block eraser like this. I like using these to erase with. They're only about 50 cents, and you can do a lot more work with them, okay? So when we sketch, we definitely need pencil and paper. And we said that the paper needs to be a soft lead. And optional, well, we can use an eraser. We mentioned that. We can use grid paper. Now this is 1/2-inch grid. I've put a PDF copy of this on your sketching page on Haiku, and if you've got a printer, you can print this off. If you don't have a printer, you can go buy some grid paper. Now the grid paper that you're going to buy, try to get 1/4-inch grid if you can. So that means if everything that we're going to draw in class, we're going to draw on 1/2-inch grid. So if you buy 1/4-inch grid, you're going to have to go 2 blocks instead of 1 to make the drawing the right size. Okay? And then the last one is a trammel. So what's a trammel? Well, a trammel is how we draw circles. Remember, the only tools that we need are pencil and paper to sketch with. I'm going to show you how to draw a circle using nothing but a piece of paper and a pencil. And it can be just about a perfect circle if you do it right. Okay? So, what's the most important thing to do when you sketch? The most important thing, no matter what, maintain proportion. So you don't want to make it too tall or too wide. You've got to be really careful. Maintain proportion. You need to be able to scale it out perfectly. If you look behind me, I'm going to slide out of the way. See the Eiffel Tower behind me? A student built this, and he maintained proportion when he built this. The base is proportionally the right size to the height. Well, when we sketch, we want to do the exact same thing. Maintaining our proportion is really, really important, okay? You want to make sure it's clear. That's one of the biggest things about drafting. Everything we do is clarity. We want to make sure it's clear. Does the picture convey what we want? Remember what we said a picture's worth? From way back when, think about the old-timey saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So maintain clarity. It makes a difference. And use sketching aids. Use that piece of paper. Use that trammel. There's different ways that we can make sketching work. There's a thing called the pencil sight method that we can take our pencil, and like my clock is hanging up on the wall over there, and I'm going to line the eraser up with the top of the clock, and I'm going to slide my finger up to the bottom of the clock, and I can draw it on a piece of paper and make a circle that big all the way around, and it'll be proportional to how big the clock is. So we go back to that proportion thing, okay? So how do we sketch lines? By the way, I'm going to do another video. I'm going to show you this. So when we sketch lines, we always pull a pencil. We never push it, okay? Always take a pencil, and when we use it, we want to pull it along. If you're left-handed, there's nothing wrong with going the other direction. It's okay, okay? Vertical or angled lines, we're going to start at the top and go to the bottom, okay? If it's angled, we're going to start at the top of the angled line and go to the bottom of the angled line. If it's vertical, we're going to start at the top and come down. To keep a long straight line, I like drawing a continuous line, one solid line. Now, some people will use a series of shorter straight dashes, but now you need to connect them. Okay, that's going to be important. And of course, you can go in either direction, up, down, left, or right. It doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. All right, how do we sketch a 45-degree angle? Well, the easiest way, start with a 90-degree angle, an L, and then bisect or cut it in half. So divide it into 2 equal parts. How about an angle of 30 or 60 degrees? Draw you a 90 and cut it into 3 equal parts or divide it twice, okay? So you're dividing it into 3 equal parts. So these are our 2 ways of getting the most common angles that we use a lot. Other angles, you just pretty much have to guess at, okay? So sketching circles. Now this is a method. I'm going to show you this. And if you ever see it on a test, this is going to be the method that they're going to always talk about. They're going to talk about starting with a square. So you can draw a circle by starting with a square. And then the other option, we can use the trammel. And it says if it's small, you can use a trammel on a big circle. And then the chopstick method also works really well. I'll show you that one too, okay? Here's the square method. Take a square, divide it into 4 quadrants, and then connect the dots. The biggest thing is keeping your arcs the same size. A lot of people get a flat side when they do this, okay? So you draw the first arc, the second arc, and notice they're doing opposite arcs. It's usually easier to do that. Okay, so that's the end of the slideshow for sketching today. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to sketch lines. And I'm going to show you how to do circles as well. I'll walk you through a quick assignment on both, so there'll be 2 separate videos for it. And that way you'll be able to do them. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.